What does it mean to be a billionaire? It is a number so large it is hard to picture. A billionaire is a person who has $1,000 million. If you spent $1 every single second, it would take you more than 31 years to spend $1 billion. It is a level of wealth that feels almost impossible. These people are not just rich, they live in a different world. They can buy islands, fund scientific research, or start companies that change how we all live. They are part of a very small, very exclusive club that most of us only read about in stories. But here is the most interesting question. Where do these people come from? We often think they are born into wealthy families. We imagine them going to the best schools and having every advantage from the very beginning. And for some, that is true. But for many others, the story is completely different. Their journey did not start in a mansion. It started in a small town, or in a poor neighborhood, or even in a different country with nothing but a dream. These are the stories that capture our imagination. They show us that the path to incredible success is not always a straight line. These are the rags to riches stories. They are about people who started with very little. They faced challenges that would make most people give up. They experienced failure, poverty, and doubt. But something inside them was different. They had a special kind of drive. They saw opportunities where others saw only problems. They were willing to work harder than anyone else. It was not just luck that brought them to the top. It was a combination of things: timing, culture, hard work, and a unique way of looking at the world that set them apart from the crowd. Understanding these stories is important. It is not about admiring their money. It is about understanding their journey. How did they think? What choices did they make when things were difficult? What special chances did they get that others missed? Their lives are like a puzzle. When we look at all the pieces, their background, their struggles, their lucky breaks, and their incredible effort, we start to see a picture. It is a picture of what is possible when a person refuses to accept the world as it is and decides to build a new one for themselves. Oprah Winfrey is one of the most famous people in the world. Today, we know her as a media giant, a television host, an actress, and a philanthropist. Her name is a brand that stands for inspiration and success. But her life did not begin with fame and fortune. It began in deep poverty in rural Mississippi. She was born to a teenage single mother and faced a childhood filled with great hardship and pain. Her early years were not about dreaming of becoming a billionaire. They were about survival. She moved from home to home, facing neglect and abuse that left deep scars. The remarkable thing about Oprah was her spirit. Even in the darkest of times, she found comfort and escape in books. Reading opened up a new world for her. It showed her that life could be different from what she was experiencing. She was also a gifted speaker. She joined the speech team in high school and discovered she had a powerful voice. This was her first real opportunity. Someone saw her talent. She won a speaking contest, which led to a scholarship to college. This was a small door opening, a tiny crack of light in a difficult world, and she pushed it open with all her might. Her big break did not come all at once. It came in small steps. She got a job at a local radio station while she was still in college. Then she moved to television news. At first, she did not fit in. She was told she was too emotional to be a news anchor. She was moved to a daytime talk show, which was seen as a step down. But this is where the magic happened. This supposed failure was actually the greatest opportunity of her life. On that talk show, her empathy and her ability to connect with people became her greatest strength. She was not just reporting the news, she was sharing stories. Oprah's show became something different. She talked about things that mattered to ordinary people. She shared her own vulnerabilities and struggles. She created a community. People trusted her. Her audience grew and grew, and her influence expanded beyond television. She built a media empire, including a magazine and a television network. Her success came from turning what others saw as a weakness, her emotion and her difficult past, into her most powerful tool. She connected with millions because she understood their pain and their hopes. She was one of them. Now let us travel to a different part of the world, to a small village outside Kiev, Ukraine. This is where Jan Koum, the co-founder of WhatsApp, grew up. His childhood was not easy. He lived in a house with no hot water. His family was Jewish, and they faced political instability and anti-Semitism. They lived in a society where communication was monitored. You could not speak freely on the phone because you never knew if the government was listening. This experience of not being able to communicate privately would later become the core idea for his billion-dollar company. When he was 16, Jan and his mother immigrated to California. They were looking for a better life, but the beginning was incredibly difficult. They were very poor. They lived on food stamps, and his mother worked as a babysitter while he swept the floors of a grocery store to help make ends meet. He was a teenager in a new country, with little money and a difficult future ahead. But he had a passion for computers. He taught himself about computer networking by reading old manuals he bought from a used bookstore. He was absorbing knowledge, piece by piece, on his own. His journey into the world of technology was not a straight path. He enrolled in San Jose State University, but eventually dropped out. He got a job at Yahoo, where he worked for nearly a decade as an engineer. It was there that he met his future co-founder, Brian Acton. After leaving Yahoo, they both applied for jobs at Facebook and were rejected. This rejection could have been the end of their story. For many, it would have been a sign to give up. But for Jan Koum, it was another beginning. It pushed him to create something of his own. The idea for WhatsApp came from a simple, personal need. After buying his first iPhone, he realized the potential of the App Store. He remembered his childhood in Ukraine, where private communication was impossible. He wanted to create a simple app that would let people talk to their friends and family anywhere in the world, without being monitored and without paying high fees for text messages. The focus was on privacy and simplicity. The company grew slowly at first, but its powerful, simple idea resonated with millions. It was an idea born from his past, powered by his skill, and launched after a major rejection. The stories of Oprah Winfrey and Jan Koum are separated by continents and cultures, yet they share a powerful theme. They did not succeed because they avoided failure. They succeeded because they learned from it. Oprah was demoted from her job as a news anchor, a moment that could have ended her career. Instead, it placed her in the exact role where her unique talents could shine. Jan Koum was rejected by the very company that would later pay billions of dollars to acquire his creation. These moments of crisis were not roadblocks. They were detours that led them to their true path. Their success was also built on a foundation of unique perspective. Oprah's difficult childhood gave her an incredible ability to connect with people's pain and joy. She built her empire on empathy. Jan Koum's upbringing in a surveillance state gave him a deep appreciation for privacy. He built his company on the principle of secure, private communication. Their greatest challenges became their most valuable assets. They did not run from their past. They used the lessons from it to build the future. This is a crucial insight. Sometimes the most difficult parts of our lives give us the very tools we need to succeed. Of course, hard work was the engine that drove them forward. Oprah worked tirelessly to perfect her craft, to build her brand, and to connect with her audience day after day. Jan Koum taught himself complex skills and spent countless hours writing the code that would become WhatsApp. There was no magic formula. Their success was earned through thousands of hours of effort, long after the initial inspiration struck. Opportunity may open a door, but it is relentless work that carries a person through it and up to the highest levels of achievement. So, what can we learn from these incredible journeys? The message is not that everyone will become a billionaire. The message is that your starting point does not define your destination. Your challenges can become your strengths. Failure can be a guide, not a final verdict. Your unique experiences give you a view of the world that nobody else has. The path to achieving your dreams is not easy, and it is rarely straight. But as these stories show us, it is a path that can be carved by anyone with enough courage, resilience, and a powerful idea. Your story is still being written.